Good morning, I'm Bee, and this is my YouTube channel, The Fuzzy Knitting Bee. So it is finally fall time, which means it's time for another end of season podcast where we'll be talking about all things fiber arts related that I did this summer. And trust me, we have a lot to talk about. Okay, so first off, we are going to be talking about projects that I finished this summer. I only have a few of them, so this part will probably be pretty short, but let's get started. Okay, so these aren't going to be in the exact order of when I finished them. It's kind of whatever I grabbed first. And the first one I did technically finish the very first day of fall, but I'm still counting it as a summer project because for the most part, I worked on it in the summertime except piecing everything together. And that is the adorable emotional support chicken. I am absolutely obsessed with this pattern. I already have another one started, a little bit of spoiler, but we'll talk about it more in a minute. I use some just acrylic that I've had forever and I didn't know what to do with it. And I think it is my favorite thing that I've made all summer. I'm obsessed with it. I'm going to make a lot of these. They are so cute. I think it would also be a fairly good pattern even for a beginner. There are some tricky parts that I would say might be tricky for a beginner, but would be really good to learn. I think this was a really good learning pattern. I think it is just absolutely adorable. I think everybody needs to get this pattern. Everybody needs to get this pattern and knit themselves a chicken because this is adorable. I am obsessed. Also, I forgot to say this, next week there will be a video on me making my adorable little emotional support chicken right here. So definitely come back next week to see that. So this next project was the Poppy Tee by PetiteKnit. I really enjoyed knitting this one. It's fairly simple, but there's just little details that make it really enjoyable. From the shoulder construction, I really like how it's worked up. To the little row you do before the ribbing. I just think this was a really, really fun project. Fairly simple, so at times it did get kind of a little repetitive, but I really did enjoy it. Strange thing. Now this is completely on me. I had to get some new needles while working on this, but the needles that I was working with was the correct size. It was just kind of my tension with those because I went from wooden to metal needles. So it's slightly looser, mainly on the back. It's kind of hard to see, but you should be able to see it, I think. But like, it's not really that noticeable in person, but I really did enjoy this pattern. I really liked working with this yarn. It's the Knitting Notions Classic Superwash Merino, I think. And I really enjoyed working with this. This has been one of my favorite things to wear recently. I love wearing it with like a long skirt and stuff like that. I just think it's really, really cute. So yeah. Okay, so this next project is from 52 Weeks of Socks, and that is number 16. I made these for my mom, which I feel bad because it did take me so long to make these because I kept putting them down and picking up other projects, and then I'll pick them up and then put them back down, and I finally completed them. I'm really happy about that, and they are really cute. At times, the pattern was a little intense because you are working this really pretty lace pattern that is moving all the way around the sock to the front. And I will say I did mess up and I did have to undo the sock pretty much to be able to understand exactly where I was, pretty much all the way back to the cuff. But I did get both of them done. They are really, really cute. She'll be able to wear them this fall. I did enjoy this pattern and I would probably knit it again, but definitely in a lighter yarn because when I got to like the darker sections like the purple and the black, it was kind of hard to see, but I did really enjoy it and And yeah. So the next pattern is also from 52 Weeks of Socks, and it is number 6. I finished these actually fairly recently. I really love them. They're really cute. They add just that like little pop to an outfit. I just think they are so adorable. I actually really enjoyed the pattern on the front. It worked up really, really fast. This is actually my first like pair of toe-up socks, even though I knitted a toe-up sock years and years and years ago. I don't really know where it's at, but I do still have it somewhere. But I really enjoyed this pattern. I think it's so cute. I have worn them a few times recently, but I definitely will enjoy them a whole lot this fall. But yeah. Okay, so this next section is projects that I am currently working on and ones that I plan to work on a lot this fall. Some of these I mentioned last week, some of them y'all haven't seen, and just some of them are ones that I will pick up randomly throughout the season, so I didn't add them to that list. But let's get to talking about those. So if you've watched my channel recently, you've definitely seen the next 2 patterns because they are both from 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2. Starting off with number 32, this lovely Colorworks sock that I am working on. I absolutely am enjoying this project. I have not casted on the next one yet, but I am probably going to maybe today or tomorrow. But I think it is so cute. It's my first Colorworks sock, so it was a lot of trial and error to begin with. I think I undid it 3 times, but I mean, it was my first Colorworks sock. I have worked other Colorwork before, but getting the tension right on the sock was definitely a challenge, but a challenge that I still really enjoyed. I really love how the yarn's working up together. I love that deep, like dark blue with the just kind of speckled, colorful pink yarn. I just think it is so cute. I love how it's working up, and I can't wait to cast on the next one. Okay, and the next one is number 16 from 52 Weeks of Socks, Volume 2. I really enjoyed this one too. I think it is really cute. It's a toe-up sock. It's just a little short kind of summer sock. I really enjoyed this one, and I will be casting on the next one here soon. I think it's really cute. I enjoyed this pattern. I don't really have a lot to say besides I really enjoyed knitting this sock. Okay, so this next project is a little bit different, but is one that I'm really enjoying. And what makes it different is that it is a crochet project and not a knitting project. I do love crocheting. I just haven't picked it up in a while. And I am just making these adorable little granny squares just out of some of my scrap yarn. There's some Lines brand, there's some Malabrigo, there's some Knit Picks. Just kind of some scrap yarn that I had left over. And so I'm making just kind of a bunch of squares. I have 3 here. I think I might try to make a bag. I don't know how many scraps I have. See how much I can work up because some of them were just really tiny scraps. So we're gonna have to wait and see, but I'm thinking a bag. I really like granny squares. I think they're a lot of fun. There's just kind of one of those that's almost like these are just kind of a mindless crochet project for me. I made a blanket for my mom a few Christmases back, and I just got in such like a routine with them that it's just not really something I have to think a whole lot about when I'm making them. So yeah, I'm really excited about this project. It's a little different than what I typically do because I do a lot of knitting, but I still really do love crochet. I've been crocheting for most of my life, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And for those that are wondering, did I learn to knit or crochet first? I actually learned to knit first. I learned to knit when I was really little. At most, I was 7 or 8, but I think it was more like 6 or 7 when I learned to knit. And I was 8 or 9. I think it was 8 when I learned to crochet. I learned to knit from my great aunt, and I learned to crochet from my grandmother. So that's just kind of a really fun little memory. But for those wondering, did I learn to knit or crochet first? I learned to knit first. Okay, so this next project is one for my mom, and that is another emotional support chicken. I'm at the very beginning of this project. I'm using this kind of dark gray yarn that I have, and I'm going to actually use, so the main color that I use for my chicken, it's actually going to go where the brown is on my chicken, and it's going to be this really just kind of lovely dark gray. So it's going to be a really fun project, and I am going to probably finish this one soon because I really, really like knitting emotional support chickens. I can see why this pattern is so popular. Definitely go check it out because it is a lot of fun. Okay, so talking about projects for my mom, I actually have 2 other projects that I'm knitting for her, so let's talk about those real quick. Okay, so this next one is a dahlia drawstring bag that I'm knitting for my mom. I knitted one of these for myself back in the springtime. I really enjoyed that project. It's just kind of another simple type project, but it's a really, really cute little bag. I cast on actually 20 extra stitches, and I could just go slightly longer than what it actually calls for to make just a slightly bigger bag. But it is a really fun kind of simple project, so I want to complete this for her for this fall. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this project. Okay, so this next one is one that I haven't picked up in a while, and I am not very far into this project, and that is her Ingrid sweater. I knitted one of these for myself last year, and I really enjoy that sweater a lot. So I had this gray yarn, and I was like, hey, do you want me to knit you an Ingrid sweater? And so here it is. I need to finish knitting it though, and I feel really bad. I haven't picked it back up, but I am going to pick it back up more this fall. I don't know if I will get it done this fall, but I'm definitely going to try. It is super cute. I really enjoy it. I absolutely love this pattern. It is a lot of fun. But yeah. Okay, so the next one is the Salty Day sweater. I'm not done with the body yet, but I am very close, and then I can start on the arms and the collar, but it is super cute. I'm loving it. It's kind of similar to the Ingrid, where it has these different sections that you're working on, different stitch patterns and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of different textures and stuff like that, and I think it is so cute. I can't wait to wear it. I might try to finish it before SAF, but no promises. No promises. I might not, but I'm definitely going to work on it more this fall. Also, I forgot another one that I am working on for my mom, and that is the lovely Sophie shawl that I'm knitting for her. I am going to actually pick this one up again here soon, but it is super cute. It's another one that I kind of want to try to get done before SAF, and I'm probably going to pick this one up here this week. I don't know exactly when, but I really enjoy Sophie shawls. I've knitted 3 others, so I kind of got bored with knitting them for a while, but I definitely want to pick this one up again soon. I absolutely love the yarn choice. I love kind of what I'm doing here. It's kind of picking where I switched the yarn. I just switched to green, but yeah. Okay, so the next one is the Daydreamer cardigan. I am still working on the sleeve. The needles that I needed for this project are free at the moment, so I am going to move them back over to here and probably finish the sleeve before I work on that other project, which I think it was the Salty Day sweater. I don't remember right off, but I think it was. And then once I finish that, I either will pick back up the Salty Day sweater or whatever the other project was. I don't really remember what it was right off. I think it was the Salty Day sweater. And then I am going to cast on the other sleeve. But it's super cute. It's going to be cropped, which is perfectly fine because I wear a lot of high-waisted skirts, and I think that would just be kind of a cute sweater to wear with them. But I'm definitely enjoying this project. I'm probably going to pick it up again here soon. Definitely before I pick up the Salty Day sweater, I'm going to at least finish the sleeve, but we'll have to wait and see what I do. Okay, so y'all will very much be able to tell who my favorite designer is right now because this next pattern is also by Veronica Lindberg. And I have knitted this one before. It was actually my first pattern I knitted from her, and I really remember enjoying this pattern. I was also on a trip, so I thought it was like a really fun one to knit while I was on this trip. And that is the Grandma Core hood. Like I said, I have knitted one before. I will put up a photo real quick right here. I wore this one all last fall and winter. It is one of my favorite patterns. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to have another one in a different color. So this one I actually cast it on fairly recently. I love how it's working up. I think it is really cute. I really do enjoy Veronica Lindberg's patterns. I am knitting the Salty Days sweater. I'm knitting the Daydreamer cardigan. I have a few other patterns in kind of my pattern stash that I definitely want to find some yarn for, maybe while we're at SAF, or definitely keep my eyes out for when I'm at different yarn stores. But yeah. Okay, so now moving on to my next section is things that I've gotten recently. So I am not going to say all the yarn brands that I've gotten recently. I will put them up on screen because I've gotten a lot of different yarn recently. I've gone to some yarn stores. I went to the Southern Comforts Fiber Market. So we're just going to show them, and I will put the names up here on screen. And if I have any plans for these yarns. Okay, so starting off, I got this yarn while we're on our beach trip, and I do actually have a pattern in mind, and that is this lovely green yarn and the Instant Gratification cardigan. I've wanted a Kelly green cardigan for a while, and like I always say, this yarn isn't actually showing its true shade on camera. It's a lot lighter on camera, but I am really excited about this pattern. So I will be starting that sometime this fall. If you want to hear more about patterns that I am going to be working on this fall, definitely watch last week's video. We were talking about my fall knitting plans, but on to the next yarn. Okay, so for the next yarn, I actually have to open up the cabinet here because the rest of it is actually on this shelf right here. So I have this lovely, lovely gray yarn that I'm going to knit this lovely vest, the peony vest right here. And I think it's going to be a really, really fun project, and I can't wait for that. So along with that gray yarn, at that yarn store, they had these bins that had all these different type of bags that had a bunch of different yarn in it. So I found that gray yarn. I also have this lovely, lovely yarn right here. It's the same brand. I don't actually have a plan for this one yet. I think I have two or three of those. I don't remember exactly right off. So I will be using those at some point. I don't really have a plan for those yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, poor cabinet. I'm having to take out a bunch of yarn, so I'm gonna have to rearrange it. But I also found these in that bin. It's just a bunch of cotton yarn. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with any of these yet. There's two that are the same right here. And then I have a yellow, this kind of rosy color, and a white. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with these yet, but I know it's gonna be something fun. Okay, so I also got these while I was at that store. It's this really pretty lace weight green yarn. I have a few patterns in mind. They're all shawl patterns. I think this would make a really pretty shawl. So we're gonna have to wait and see what I end up choosing, but I think that will be a really fun project. Okay, so the rest of the yarn I got at Southern Comforts Fiber Market. And I always get something from Hillside Farms, and I get this lovely, lovely pink yarn. I absolutely love their yarn. It's just kind of a hand spun yarn. They also dye their yarn. She told me that this one was very much a labor of love because it kept wanting to turn orange and she couldn't keep it from turning orange, but she finally got this absolutely beautiful shade. I absolutely love it. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, but it's going to be something definitely fun. Okay, so this next one I do have a few projects in mind for, but I haven't fully decided yet. And then it's this lovely, lovely kind of pink speckled yarn. I really love it. It is so cute. The yarn is called Maggie because of Maggie Smith, and I just love that fact so much. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to use it for, but I am really excited to use it. Okay, so this next one is one that I actually was looking for when I was at the Southern Comforts Fiber Market, and I found exactly what I wanted, and it is this lovely speckled white yarn. I have this lovely color pattern in mind for it. I think it's going to be a really fun project. I'm probably going to be casting it on here soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. Okay, so this is the last yarn for the video that I got during the summertime, and it is this lovely green tweed yarn. I went to Southern Comforts and I saw this one and I knew exactly what I wanted to make, and it is this adorable beret, and I think it will be really, really cute for this fall and winter. So I definitely will be casting this one on here soon, but yeah. Okay, so one other thing that I got at the Southern Comforts Fiber Market is this really cute stitch marker. This is Big Bend National Park, which I went to a few years ago, and I really, really enjoyed it. I actually was knitting the Grandma Core hood while we were there. So I got this stitch marker. I'm really excited about it. I really enjoy national parks, so it was kind of fun. I kind of want to collect some more for the ones that I've gone to. So if I see them again, I'm definitely going to stop back by their booth and see what they have. But I saw Big Ben and I was like, yes, I have to have that stitch marker. Okay, so the next thing my mom found at a thrift store, and I was really excited when she brought it home, and that is the Vogue knitting book. I think it will be a lot of fun. It has a lot of helpful information about knitting different patterns and kind of creating your own patterns. So that's kind of something I've wanted to get into. So I feel like I can learn a lot from this book. A lot of helpful information, so I'm really excited about this. Okay, so this last item is actually one that I DIY'd, but it is a new little tool that I have, and it's actually a spinning tool, and it is a supported spindle. I made it using a broken drop spindle that I had. It was actually my first drop spindle. Fun fact, you're not supposed to drop spindles. They break. Yeah. I knew that at the time, but it just happened. But I used a little bobbin, wooden bobbin, and then, or a little wooden spool, and then the broken part of the drop spindle, and I made this adorable little supported spindle out of it. I actually have like little dishes that I use, but I'm using like the base of the drop spindle. I forget what this part's called, that was broken just to hold it. I have spun this on it. It was just a little test. I am spinning this right now. Just kind of some little tests. This is a rolag that I made in a class that I took at one of the fiber festivals that I've gone to. So it's just kind of a fun little challenge that I made for myself. But yeah. Okay, so we're at the last section, which is just kind of some random stuff that I've been enjoying recently. Like, I have really been enjoying baking a lot. I've shown y'all a lot of what I've been making. I've really enjoyed actually the pumpkin bread that I made a few weeks ago. It didn't technically turn out the way it was supposed to, but it tasted really, really good. I feel like with baking for me, it's kind of like if it tastes good, it doesn't really matter how it looks. So I've been enjoying baking and stuff like that. Of course, all my coffee. I've been enjoying coffee a lot recently. I've also been making a lot of almond tea. I've always really enjoyed almond tea, especially like around Christmas and Thanksgiving. But recently I've just kind of been making almond tea here and there. But that's something I've been enjoying recently. So I've been getting also back into anime recently. There's some really good ones out. Some that have been out for a while that I've known about. I have been watching, I just finished the Recovering of an MMO junkie, which was really cute, a lot of fun. I also watched Why Did Rayliana End Up at the Duke's House? That was really, really fun. Also, my betrothed to my sister's ex, which is really funny. I really like that one. Really lighthearted. And then one that I started watching recently, what's it called? It's on Netflix, the dub version, which I watch a lot of dub when I am knitting different projects. Let me get that name real quick. Okay, so the other one was The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I think it is really, really cute. I love the character so far. So I've been enjoying that one. I've also gotten back into playing Breath of the Wild on my Switch. I adore that game. I played all the way through it. The first time I played all the side quests. I found just a bunch of random stuff. I searched for every detail. I think the only thing that I didn't complete was finding all the Koroks. I don't think I finished that, the first one. So I'm replaying it now, and I'm really excited about that. Also, on my computer, I am playing Stardew Valley. I've played it a bunch of times, a bunch of different farms. I am playing the newer farm. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's the one with like all the animals and stuff like that. I'll put it up right here. I've been enjoying that recently. That's just kind of one of those like cozy comfort games. So I've been playing that one a lot this summer. I've also gotten back into drawing recently. So as of recent, I've drawn a lot more than I have in the past few years. I did this actually the other day, which y'all would have seen in one of my videos. It's kind of hard to show. It's a very light sketch. But we were down by the water and there was a bunch of boats. So just some playing around type sketches. Drew a little sheep. And then I also was watching some different art videos the other day and somebody was drawing with highlighters. So I tried it out and I did a bunch of different drawings of Hal from House Moving Castle. And then, this was Link from my favorite Legend of Zelda game, which is the Minish Cap. So I drew that. Once again, it's a very faint sketch because it's not complete. I'm still working on that one. But I definitely enjoy drawing. I was doing advertising design at college, but I realized I didn't like digital art as much as I like traditional art. So I haven't really drawn a whole lot in a while, but I've gotten back into it since kind of last year. I did like a bunch of like self-portraits of myself at the beginning of the sketchbook, just kind of having some fun. Actually, in this one right here, I am wearing my grandma core hood. So I enjoyed that. Just a bunch of different little drawings. They're not perfect, but I'm having fun, and that's what's important. Okay, so the last little bit of this section is some things that I've also been enjoying recently. The Black Honey lipstick. I really, really like this one. I love the fact that it was used on Lord of the Rings. I just think that's really fun. But I've been enjoying that. This is also a purse that I found at a yard sale. And it's been my favorite one to carry around recently. I feel like it's kind of got those fall vibes. The lining in the bag is apples, and I think that is so cute. Also, this little sketchbook that I have, I've just been kind of drawing little portraits of different characters, and I think that's really fun. But I've been enjoying that. I got it for like $4 at one of my favorite art stores. So I've been enjoying that recently. But yeah, that's kind of just some things that I've enjoyed recently. I just kind of wanted to share with y'all. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy, and if you did, definitely give this video a like, and also subscribe to join our lovely little knitting group here on the internet. I know that this video is different from what I typically film, but I do love to update y'all on what I have finished during the season, what I am currently working on, things that I've enjoyed recently, things that I've gotten. The next one will be at the end of fall, so definitely come back towards the end of fall for another knitting podcast, and come back next week. We will be back to kind of more of our normal videos, and we will be working on the lovely emotional support chicken. I definitely need a name for my chicken. I don't have a name for her yet, and I'm really sad about it. So definitely come back next week and comment a name idea for the chicken. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm definitely excited to figure that out. So definitely come back next week. And also comment down below what y'all are currently working on. I always love to hear. That is one of my favorite parts of YouTube. Y'all work on such cool projects. There's a lot that I've added to like kind of future knitting plans from the comments. So definitely comment down below what y'all are currently working on. I always love to hear. And I will see y'all again next week. Good night.